Hi, my name's Stephen Bland. I'm a award-winning author and a freelance journalist. Um, when I first started writing about Central Asia, which would have been about 2011, I knew very little about the place, and it became a growing passion for me over many years, which resulted in my book on the region in 2016. Um, my book essentially presupposes no knowledge of the reader on behalf of the reader about the region and takes them on a voyage of discovery as I try to travel to the places to discover the stories of the people and the places, to talk about the history and the anecdotes and the politics, but also to try and treat it with as light a touch as possible, so there's a vein of humour running through the book, which I think can make it a lot more palatable than just getting into deep political discussions. For part of the Eurasian Creative Guild festivals, I've also edited many books. It's been my pleasure to do Zinieda Longotova's Blue River. That was the first book to be translated into English by a Khanty author, who are a small ethnic group from far northern Russia. The story is quite basic. It's about a family that take in a wounded elk calf. But through this we discover a lot about the people's folklore and history and the mythology of a people who are really quite cut off and only accessible to the world for about 3 months a year when the snow starts to fall. Last year in Stockholm I presented an edit of a book by Nazarova, which was quite controversial for Tajik society because it spoke about women's rights and the idea that there's more to womanhood in Central Asia than just being a mother. But it's more than that, it's a search for a homeland, and whether home is about a place, a person, or an idea, and how you find that and how you try to cling on to it. One of the other books I did was Gulsafat Shakidi's academic book about the Russian poet-translator Zhukovsky, who was working in the 1800s. And it's about at the time, the idea of the translator in Russian was to not just translate, but to bring their own spin, to reimagine the works. And the second part of her book talked about Tajik-Russian relations in the early years of the Soviet Union, and there's a real sense of enthusiasm in it for how people were coming together, how they were looking to share literary ideas and learn from each other and to grow as a society through that. And so part of what I've been talking about at the opening today is this diversity of work, and how in a time where countries are pulling apart, and how through literature and culture we can understand each other's history and come together. Through my first book, I was trying to introduce people in the West to Central Asia, because I think a lot of people don't necessarily even know where the countries are on a map. They were cut off behind the Iron Curtain for so long, and people don't understand the importance of these countries. They don't understand that the canon of medicine, which stood as the textbook for Western medicine, and for 500 years until the 1720s, came from Central Asia. They don't understand that modern mathematics, algebra, algorithms. Algebra was a Kyrgyz mathematician, but people don't understand that. And they don't understand how elevated those cultures were, and how without the massive libraries in these regions we would not have Aristotle today, we would not have the works of Plato. We only have them because they've been retranslated from the libraries of Central Asia. And after being cut adrift behind the Iron Curtain for so long, I think it's really time to re-engage with the history and the culture, because there's so much to offer and so much to learn, and it's time to bring down those walls and embrace this region. Yes, for 4 years I read nothing except books about Central Asia, and now for the book I'm working on, for the last 3 years I've read nothing except books about the Caucasus.
Thank you very much.